Hi everybody, this is International Master Mon Hamilton here with a recap video of round 2 in the Pro Chess League hosted by chess.com and the live chess server. And in round 2, the Montreal Chessbrahs went up against the Toronto Dragons. I think round 2 was advertised as Rivals Week by chess.com, and the only two teams from Canada were pitted against one another. So it was a very big match for us, I know personally, and on behalf of a lot of the players on my team, I can say we've all played each other from the Toronto-Montreal teams in real-life tournaments many times, so there's a lot of experience, a lot of previous games to go off of, and a lot of personal rivalries taking place in this matchup. So once again, you can see on the screen, we fielded Li Chao on first board, and Alexander Lesiege, myself, Amon Hamilton, and FIDE master Michael Kleiman, who is making his debut today, replacing Lefeng Hua on board 4. So this was going to be a really close match. In the end, you'll see what happened. Montreal managed to come away with the victory, but let me take you through exactly what happened during this match, especially some of the key moments that led to that result. So first of all, we have round 1, where everybody was playing their own board. So I was playing as board 3 on Montreal, playing as board 3 from Toronto, Grandmaster Razvan Preotu. And after a long struggle where my opponent sacrificed a rook for a great counterplay, which is a very common thing to do in rapid chess, and in my opinion was a very good decision in this game, I actually managed to outplay him and got to this position on the board, which is already so far gone from the advantage I once had with the white pieces here. But in this position, we were playing with just 2 seconds on the clock, and my opponent played the move knight d6. And looking back in hindsight, how bad do you have to be to miss rook takes g5 and queen to h5, just leading to mate or simply leading to the victory. So I have to admit I did miss that, and this is going to be going on the blunder list. Rook d5. I mean, I could have played a better move than this. I didn't have to just give away the whole game, but I did, and after my opponent played the move knight e4, that was it. I resigned. So Razvan Preotu in round 1 came away with a victory that I really did not want to have happen, but this was a really bad blunder for my standards. Not only just allowing this rook to be hanging here and just losing on the spot, but also missing a checkmate in 2. That being said, my opponent had a knight. I always say knights are the best pieces in time scrambles, and there you go. You see exactly why. Moving on, we have Alexander Lesiege, who scored a great 2.5 out of 4 this week and really found his form, in my opinion. This week was a great week for him. He only lost 1 game, and it was a very tactical encounter. This, however, is his game as white against International Master Michael Song, the board 4 for the Toronto Dragons. And here we have a pretty normal hedgehog. Likely it came from Sicilian, but you can also get these types of positions from a number of different move orders, a lot of d4 move orders as well. And here black played the move bishop c6, and anybody who plays the hedgehog knows that this is a no-no. When you see that rook on the same file as the queen, white's just going to play the move knight d5 or knight b5 here. Very thematic idea, and of course wasting no time. That's what a grandmaster does. Knight d5 was instantly on the board, threatening knight takes e7, and this knight simply has to be taken or you're going to lose the dark square bishop, and that's the backbone of the hedgehog right there. So bishop c6, an incredible blunder, and knight d5 was whipped out after pawn takes, pawn takes. You can see this is a very clear advantage for white. You're going to pick up that bishop, have the 2 bishops for yourself, along with just crippling weaknesses in black's position. So a huge mistake there from the board 4 for Toronto Dragons, and capitalized on immediately by Grandmaster Lesiege, and this led to a convincing victory in this game for Montreal, which was definitely key, because Michael Song, board 4 for Toronto, actually scored 0 out of 4 this week, actually losing to everybody on our team, so those were some really important points that we picked up. Moving on, Michael Kleiman, FIDE master, living in Montreal and going to school here currently. He made his debut for the Montreal Chessbrahs, and as board 4, everyone knows you have a very tall task in this league. There's often 2 or 3 GMs on every team, and you also have that crucial matchup between the 2 board 4s that always happens in round 1. So here we have that. FIDE master Michael Kleinman, underrated compared to international master Michael Song. But like I said, there's a lot of rivalry in this match. These two guys have a history playing against one another. And I want to illustrate here that Michael Kleinman playing white was actually shuffling around here, maybe unsure how to win. But then we see this move, rook b7. Black actually takes the initiative, tries to bring the rook down here, and I think that might have been his undoing. Because what we actually see is Michael now takes his opportunity to go on the attack. He plays king f4, threatening to play rook takes c3, and black only has one move, which is rook b3. So that was on the board, and all of a sudden e6, a crushing move that opens up the possibility for two passed pawns for white, and with the king coming into e5, this pawn will have to be left hanging by black as he brings the rook back for defense. This led to a crushing finish where that f-pawn just marches up the board, and followed by rook g8, a beautiful finish. Michael Kleinman scores a very important point between the two board fours, and he scored 1.5 out of 4 on the week, which was a great result from our board 4, almost getting 50% and drawing a GM quite comfortably with black. So for his debut, I think we're very happy with how Michael Kleinman performed, and this was one of his wins that was very crucial to our match victory. Now moving on to the man of the hour, 3.5 out of 4 for this week. This is Grandmaster Li Chao. That means he's on 7.5 out of 8 for the entire season so far. He is really carrying the Montreal Chessbrahs, and this is a game where I just wanted to show the final position. It's kind of interesting and instructive for some of the viewers. Here we actually see what should be a totally winning king and pawn endgame. We have a protected pass pawn. Everyone knows the technique. But black has just played the move king to f7. And of course a lot of us will play the move king to f5. But after king g7 we have this funny position where if we play g6, black actually plays king h6, and we have this stalemate idea where we cannot play king f6, and this is actually a dead draw on the board. So I want you guys to pay attention to what Li Chao does here. It shows us a little bit of triangulation. The king drops back to e4 from f5 after king g7. King g6, king f4, so that's the triangulation. And now after king to f7, white plays king e5. Now if black had played king g7, what would we play? King f5, that's right. And now the king has to choose a side. Against king f7, we play like this and take the pawn. And against king to h7, we play king f6, not g6. And now we play king g6 and take the pawn next. The game finished king f7, king e5, king g6, and king e6 now. And after king g7, king f5, once again, there's no way for black to pick a side. White has gotten rid of the stalemate trick and shows very good technique in this king and pawn endgame, which looks totally winning, but the more you think about it, unless you know the pattern, it might be scary to have this in a rapid game against a grandmaster and not be sure whether it's winning or not. But not even a question for Li Chao. He converted easily. This was one of his 3 wins on the day. And it should be mentioned, Li Chao sacrificed a rook in all 3 of his wins. He sacrificed the exchange. So he's a very dynamic player. He plays for practical chances. And all of his games are very instructive, just showing why he's such a class act and rapid, not afraid to give up material to take the initiative back. And 3.5 out of 4 for the week. Was a big boost for us, which was a major part in winning this match. Myself, I didn't have too many good games this week. I managed to beat the board 4 from Toronto, and I also drew the board 1 Bator Sambuev with black, which was an alright result for me, but 2 losses. We already looked at my one blunderfest from round 1 where I should have had a checkmate and instead lost the game in 1 move. But another loss for me, I had 1.5 out of 4 for the week. And adding up all those scores, you can see on the screen there, 9-7 is the final score. Montreal Chessbrahs beat the Toronto Dragons in a very close rivalry match in round 2 of the Pro Chess League. Lots of blunders, as you can see. There were some heated personal rivalries, and a big result for Montreal, moving to 2-0 on the season so far. And coming up next week is the Buenos Aires Krakens, a team from Argentina. And the match will be on January 25th at the usual time, 6:45 Eastern. That'll be live on twitch.tv/chessbrah with international master Madrag Perunovic. He's always bringing you the action if you want to only follow the Montreal Chessbrahs games. If you want to follow the entire league, you can go to chess.com, and they have a Twitch team covering everything. But this was the exciting tale of the tape for what was an important victory for Montreal. We moved to 2-0 on the season, as I was saying, and it's really important to also mention that Li Chao, 7.5 out of 8, also won best game last week for his match against Barbosa. So Li Chao against Barbosa, big congratulations to Li Chao. He did win Game of the Week, very deserved, and with 7.5 out of 8, he's probably topping the entire league in terms of score. So once again, next week we have a big match against Buenos Aires. We hope you'll come cheer us on. But that's my very quick recap of the blunders and also important moments that led to the Montreal Chessbrahs victory in round 2. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.